Good afternoon, Eric here, Gold Investment Letter, Elite Investments, October 2nd, 2018. And we are just about a month away from the 2018 Phenom Investor Conference. This is the second annual conference that I'm hosting, and the first one was an unmitigated success. The feedback that I got from the first conference, and you can see some of that on the website, where we interviewed about 5 or 6 attendees and got their thoughts on their experience. And one of the comments that I received was telling, and it's the reason why I'm hosting the second annual conference. And that is an investment advisor from the East Coast who has been around a very long time. And financial advisors tend to go a lot of these different conferences. They're invited to product conferences, they're invited to firm conferences, they're invited to all different types of events that they go to throughout their career to continue to be plugged into what they're doing for their customers. And he pulled me aside the last day of the conference last time and essentially said, he did say, this is the best conference I've ever been to in my career. And I thought that was a massive compliment because it was our first shot. And I think we smoked it. We did a great job in terms of how it was structured, the lineup. It's not a big conference. It's a small conference that's intimate. We also don't have booths and this and that. We are in a room throughout the day with views around the room of palm trees while you're absorbing information that is extremely valuable. I call this the Phenom Conference. My firm is called Phenom Ventures. My foundation is called Phenom Foundation. My dog is named Phenom, and I'm about to launch a new website called Phenom Life. And part of this is really, it goes back to some decisions that I made back in 2010, 2011, where I decided it was finally time that I needed to crush my dreams and make everything happen in a way that would design my life the way that I would dream that it would be. And the number one thing that can drive that type of, lifestyle is money. And so I started to design the way that I wanted my life to look. And I think it's a very, very interesting lifestyle that I lead today. I live in New York City for about 5 or 6 months in the summer. I live in Miami Beach for the winter. I have a home in the south of Brazil. I tend to go to Europe every summer or every other summer for at least a month at a time. I travel the world. And I can work from anywhere. And you are all a beneficiary and also a reason for that. And I'm very grateful for the way that this has all started to work out. But at the end of the day, one of the things that I think separates what I'm trying to do with you, my reader, my subscriber, is to continue to elevate and to continue to grow no matter what is going on. I do not want to stay stagnant. I've been in the investment industry for over half of my life. I became a licensed stockbroker right before I turned 21 years of age. And before that, going even back to my senior year in high school when I was 18 years old and won a national or a statewide competition in Wisconsin with a mock stock market contest, which is what propelled my interest into this sector. So I've been doing this a while, but I find that, unless I stay on top of my personal life, you would call it, my spirituality, my mental edge, which is probably the most important point, even physically, to have energy and to stay physically fit. These things affect how I invest and what I do to recommend these things to you. I tend to have really good luck, and it's not, I don't think, a coincidence, but some of these ideas that we've had in the last, even from the history, starting of the history from the Gold Investment Letter, I don't believe that it's very common for people to continue to make investors 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 times their money, which is what we've done here, even though there's no doubt about it, I've whiffed on plenty of ideas, particularly in a bad market for mining. It's not hard to make money for you or for me to look like a genius when you have a bull market. Look at what happened in the early 2016 period. You could buy anything and it would go up. And we're going to have that day again. And I think right now, though, is an optimal time to take a look at the sector, to find value, to be positioned for when that day comes, and also to be just knowledgeable about what do the best in the business, the people that have made fortunes for not only themselves, but their shareholders and others around them, learning how they think and how they act and what they do. And that is the way that I designed the Phenom Conference. I'm extremely excited. And the reason I'm giving you this update today, before I get into the lineup a little bit, is because some of you that are very active with me already, there's no excuse for you not to come to the Phenom Conference. I don't give a crap what you have going on or where you live. And I say that because I'm so confident that if you show up, you are going to be set up and excited about what you do in the markets and even probably what you're going to do with your life in 2019. We are going to set the tone for a monster 2019, coming off the heels of what is a monster 2018. Some of these stocks like Gungnir and First Vanadium, which was Cornerstone Metals, these things have started to change my financial complexion. Despite being down on a lot of the core positions in gold and silver, I mean, I've made a ton of money. We have other dozens, if not hundreds of subscribers that are in the same boat that have made a fortune or a small fortune. Now it's about parlaying that and taking it up another level. And when we get into a fruitful environment, folks, I'm here to tell you, there will be nobody on the planet more aggressive and on top of maximizing gains in the sector, in the entire newsletter business than myself. And some of you on the free list, you look at a recommendation here, you look at a recommendation there, oh, this one's down, you mentioned that one. You don't get it. You really don't get it. If you get completely involved with what we're doing on the premium or the elite level at the Gold Investment Letter, or as an elite VIP member at eliteinvestments.com, which is different than our Gold Investment Letter Elite, which is the creme de la creme, I don't see how anybody who's done a lot of the things that I've recommended have lost or will ever lose. I mean, I don't have a guarantee. There's no guarantees in the market, but I pride myself on making sure that even though we deal in a very, very risky area, that if you were involved with me deeply, you're not going to lose. And that's important. And it's also impossible to have something like that as a backstop. If you buy one stock here, one stock there, oh, this one goes up a bunch, I'm going to buy some, because it looks good. Oh, now it's down, I'm not going to do anything. Or Eric's a dipshit scammer. Those type of people, I mean, you're not a candidate for the Phenom Conference. The Phenom Conference is set up where half of the attendees so far signed up for this next conference at the end of the month are institutions and extremely high net worth individuals. But we also have scattered amongst them some up and coming retail investors. I don't mind if a retail investor who comes and doesn't have a huge portfolio comes and basically says, look, I believe in what you're doing and I want to grow along with you. And I want to get more active and I want to understand who I'm investing with, not just with me, but the reason that this conference was set up is that so my elite and premium members that go along with myself and our group and invest in private placements into these companies and basically take big stakes. We own, for example, when I exercise all my warrants in First Vanadium, I'll own about 3% of the company myself. That's a lot, if it ends up turning into hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So, but as a whole, with the financing we did at 14 cents, some of the follow-on at 30 cents, and all the open market buying, I mean, we may own over 25% of First Vanadium. We may own more than that. Same with Gungnir. We probably own 60, 70% of that company. So the reason I wanted to set this conference up initially was so that the people that are very active and already have big stakes, not to sell you something new, but to come and look in the eyes and hear the story directly from the management teams. And that's the core of what we're doing at the Phenom Conference. However, this year, what do we have? We have keynote speakers of Eric Sprott, who all of you know who he is. And I'll tell you something, this is a rare chance to hear Eric in person, maybe ever again, because he's quote unquote retired. He's very active with a lot of deals, but he doesn't do conferences. He says no to conferences all the time. His secretary, when I called to confirm, after he confirmed to give them more information, first thing she said to me was, I don't know what you said to him, but he said yes. And I said, he doesn't go to many of these anymore, does she? She's like, no, not at all. So listen, Eric is somebody that we can learn from, who's made a fortune in this business, over $1 billion. He's built an asset management company that revolves around mining gold, silver, precious metals, natural resources. He does other stuff, but this is the core of his business. Who better to learn from? Who better to learn from? In addition to that, I'm waiting any minute for a confirmation from Rob McEwen. They're making the schedule work. I believe that he will say yes. I will confirm it very soon. I'm pretty sure he's coming, and I've already lined up for Eric to speak on Monday, Rob to come in and do a panel with Eric Tuesday morning, and then Rob will speak about McEwen mining and whatever else he'd like to present around gold later on Tuesday. But in addition to that, we have a third keynote that's going to blow you all away. And his name is David Goggins. And I want you to Google him if you haven't heard of him before, and look at a video. Maybe it's a Joe Rogan interview or anything on YouTube. Go to his website, because what we're doing with David is we're addressing mental toughness, human performance, the ability to continue to raise our game in life. And I thought it was very important to spend the money. He's not cheap. To spend the money to the point where we're probably going to go into the red on the conference. I haven't crunched the numbers yet, but we spend what comes in, and the goal is to break even. But I don't care if it ends up being a $10,000 loss or $10,000 gain. It doesn't do much for us. But rest assured, I think with some of the investments we made on this one, it'll be a loss to some degree, because I just want to make sure that the value in these 2 days is jam-packed, okay? So David is going to be somebody who I'm designing to speak when we know that Eric Sprott and Rob McEwen are going to be in the audience, because I want them to get their game even higher. These are some of the most successful people in the business, in the world, in the investment world, in the mining world, in the capital markets world. And I wanted to be able to bring something to the table that allows them to benefit as well. That's where we're going with this stuff. It's not just about, let's bring in some interesting stuff and a bunch of mining companies, so you guys can buy $5,000 worth here or there. This is so that we get into a mind frame to make a fortune. For those of you that are on board with what I'm saying, you should go right now where I will summarize real quickly the speaker page on the website, phenomconference.com. We have first Vanadium Corp, formerly Cornerstone Metals, McEwen Mining, Orca Gold, Canada Cobalt Works, Metallus Resources, Gungnir Resources, Nevada Copper, Giga Metals, Southern Silver, Fission Uranium, Ely Gold, Medallion Resources, Bravada Gold, and Hilltop Cybersecurity, which is a blockchain play that I wanted to add in there. And in addition to that, we have an amazing talk that's going to be very educational around the battery metals trends and macro scene by Mike Beck, who has nailed these things in the past with uranium and gives a very, very forthright presentation on where this stuff is all going. That's going to be a backdrop for our investments in nickel, copper, cobalt, lithium, all the areas in the battery metals, very important. My good friend Andy Summers, who runs the Summers Value Fund. This is the best stock picker in healthcare that I've ever met in my life, and I've known him since college. He was my college roommate. He's recently launched his fund to focus on value investing, and he's going to talk to us about opportunities in healthcare. Listen, this is a core mining and junior mining built upon foundation at the Phenom Conference, but it's not exclusive to that. We want to make money, and if there's opportunities in healthcare and trends there that he can share with us that are going to be valuable, that's fantastic. He's also going to be offering, the ability to invest in his fund. So some of the high net worth folks in the audience, you'll have a chance to, vet him out as a potential money manager. We've got the flipping group. I need to confirm with you, Pat, but Pat Combs was an amazing speaker last time. He was a former major league pitcher. These guys do leadership coaching, optimal human performance, personal and organizational growth acceleration. Tom Brady, many corporate and professional sports franchises are their clients because they're the best at what they do. And then we've got a couple of other really interesting talks. I'm going to have another natural health-related chat. We're going to talk a little bit about CBD and the opportunity in the CBD business, which is the offshoot of cannabis, the non-psychoactive part of cannabis that has a lot of medicinal properties, and I take it every day personally. We're going to get some good information there. I'm working on a couple of interesting add-ons towards the end of this where we might even get into, and I'm not sure we're going to do it yet, but I have an individual who could help us with just complete Zen, getting into a Zen state, meditation. How does it end up working with what you're doing in your market, in your life? And we'll see if we can squeeze him in. He's another cost to the conference, but I really think for me, it's been a big, big benefit. I don't know if we're going to do that yet. It's going to depend also on, I'm hitting up Garibaldi. Garibaldi hasn't talked too much to the public, and it's time that they do. And so I'm hitting up Steve Ragosi, who I don't know, but I know a lot of people that do know him closely, and I'm sure he's aware of our coverage of the Gold Investment Letter. And I'm going to stay on until he says yes or no, and we'll see what he says. But it's not tough for a Garibaldi to get on a plane. We've got Fiore Alaperte from Metalis Resources that will be there. We want information. We want valuable information. We want to be able to say, these are our investments. What do we want to do with them? By the time you come to the conference and leave the conference, you're going to know where you stand. You're going to say to yourself, this guy's a weirdo. I don't really want to invest long-term. This guy's a stud, and this company is on something massive. I'm not selling myself short. But these are nuances that people that are listening to this video that don't come to the conference, you're just not going to get it. We'll share some videos from the conference, but you are not going to get it. And you're going to have conversations with a lot of other smart people, a lot of other members that last time stayed in touch with each other, elite members that talk to each other on a regular basis, comparing notes, making sure that, what I'm saying checks out. What I'm saying is, what is it? Promotional, or am I on point? They're able to do that with third parties that are also looking to improve their financial life. This is a situation where I'm inviting those of you, primarily the way that who this is most apt to benefit. If you're a fund manager, if you're a family office, if you're an advisor or broker that builds positions in individual mining stocks or stocks in general, or does private placements, high net worth individuals, if you're a private placement investor, that is our bread and honey of what we build out on the elite side of things. And even some premium members that are accredited investors get involved in probably 1 out of 2 of our deals. We have room to share with them. But that's the core of what we're trying to build here. And if you're a retail investor, whether you're an accredited investor or not, only means you make either 200 grand a year or you're worth $1 million liquid besides your house. Your investable assets doesn't have to necessarily be completely liquid, but if you fall below that, but if you're somebody who's got a few $100,000 stock portfolio and you can use that or a big portion of it in this area, in addition to what else you have, you're absolutely a candidate. You're absolutely a candidate to get here and to get plugged in. And anybody that comes to this conference is going to be on a short list for what we are going to be setting up to do in 2019. And you're going to be in a position to maximize not only your profits in some of the companies that we already have got positions on much cheaper, but position yourself to roll those profits into another couple of opportunities that will do potentially the same thing. And if you have a 10 or 20 bagger on top of a 10 or 20 bagger, that makes a difference if you've got some decent money that's parlayed into some of this stuff. So Miami Beach is the destination. You don't have to rent a car. You fly into the airport, you take an Uber or a taxi, 20, 25 minutes from Fort Lauderdale or Miami International Airport to the hotel, the Hilton Bentley, which is on First and Ocean. Everything we're going to do is going to be within 2 square blocks of the hotel. Amazing food, amazing events. It's a fantastic area. If you want to come a couple days early and hang out by the pool or on the beach, do it. And if you're one that, you just don't travel that often, get off your ass. What are you doing with your life? You basically sit in one place all the time and you never take advantage of some of these offers that are coming around your plate. And, you're missing out on life. Get on a freaking plane. It's not that big of a deal. If you drive your car, you're traveling. If you get on a plane, you're traveling. Come and visit us, hang out with a group that is going to be stellar in many, many different ways. And I do guarantee, if you come to the conference and you pay the price of admission, I'll give you a full refund. If you come back to me and say, Eric, this wasn't for me, I didn't get anything out of it. I do believe it's impossible that that's going to happen, which is why I'm happy to give the guarantee. But if you say that, I will give you your money back. So I hope most of you join us. We have about 15 slots left. The only reason we have 15 slots left, 13 to 15, is because I just have delayed my talking about this a little bit too long. And now you're going to hear about the conference until these seats are filled. And I'll be contacting a lot of you one-on-one that have been very active with me to give you a personal invitation. Certainly premium members, you get 50% off the price. What I would suggest is if you're a free member and want to come, go sign up for the annual premium membership, goldinvestmentletter.com/subscribe. Get on there, and then you will have the code to get the 50% off. So you essentially get a year of premium for free instead of paying the full price to the conference. And then that way you get to be in the game, until next year. If you want to join our elite membership, I would encourage, we've got 2 slots that are open there for accredited investors or institutions. Go ahead and sign up for elite if that's of interest to you, for private placement, deal flow, and if you want everything first and to be completely plugged in, do that, and then you come for free. So I highly encourage you, that those of you that have been thinking about this and think that it's interesting and that you would benefit, but you don't necessarily know if you would, you want to come, or you don't fit in, or you don't do conferences, which I don't, frankly. I go to maybe 1 a year besides mine, tops, and I just don't really like them. So this is designed for people that don't necessarily like conferences. It's a different vibe. It's a different environment. Everybody's going to be comfortable. You'll be welcomed, and you'll meet some great people. So hope to see some of you sign up after watching this video, and we'll be in touch this week. Cheers.